Warm greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We are now going to begin what we can call a history in the making of wonderful schools from the country. My Good School, Dil Se, is a show to bring the best practices of the best schools. For whom? For those who are interested in schooling, for those who want to educate children, for those who want to create a social capital for the country, for those who want to produce human capital, and for those who want to excel in cognitive and character building. And that is what this show is about. I am Ashok Pandey, Director of Alcon Group of Schools in Delhi, and I am privileged to be the host of this show. I cannot think of a better school to begin this show than the Fabindia School. I call it the Fabulous India School, or the Fabulous School of Fabulous India. I have the entire stakeholders team here with me. I have Rajeshree ma'am, who is the principal, Bharti ma'am, who is the vice principal. I have Mr. Yogender, who is the managing committee member representative. I have a parent, Chaudhary Sahab, Pokar Ram Choudhary Sahab. I have got two brilliant students, the head boy and the head girl, Aryan and Meenakshi, and I have an ex-student, Shelly Jain. They are going to tell us as to how collectively they think the Fabindia School is really one of the best schools in the country. By my own knowledge, I would like to tell you that what this school's uniqueness lie in is its wonderful setting, its proximity to the nature, its whole philosophy of creating a social capital, its philosophy to educate children from the rural background, its philosophy to bring the best of the world to an area and to a surrounding where ordinarily this thing should not have come. But thanks to the vision of the visionaries, the trustees, the managing committee members, and the entire community, that this school stands tall among the committee of schools in the country. Rajeshree ma'am, I'm coming to you because you are at the helm, right? And I'm told, I have been a principal myself, that a school is as good as the principal is. And you have been leading from the front, having spent so many years, I'm sure you have some very, very fulfilling moments as you work with these bright young boys and girls. So could you please share some of those profound moments of satisfaction and fulfillment that you get at Fabindia?
Thank you, Dr. Pandey. And as you mentioned, there's actually not just one, there are many such moments. And the core of the school, like the vision and the mission, which stands on building relationships, building the community, and working towards building this community on the basis of imparting values to the children. That is the core.
Absolutely.
And as we see the world, the way the world is shaping up, we don't need too many successful people, but we need too many good people who have good values towards humanity, environment, towards nature. And that is something which is very, very integral about this school. And it's not just in my tenure, because the kids who have passed out in my tenure are yet to exhibit those values. But as and when I meet these ex-students, and we have two of those students with us, the way they showcase those values and the way they connect back to the community, that is heartwarming. When these ex-students, when the alumni, they walk into the school, and the first thing that, the first person they greet is not the teachers or the principal, it is the watchman they greet.
Absolutely.
The warmth that they have when they meet Jivaramji, who happens to be our guard and who has been with us for many, many years. So that particular moment is the most fulfilling moment, because that is something that no kid is doing to show something to someone. That is something which is within them, which is very, very visible when we have these kids coming to the school. Also, I'm very blessed to be working in an institution which has a vision of imparting equal opportunities of education to the girls, to the underprivileged, in an area which has been backward for many, many years. And when this school was visioned, this is like 30 years back, thinking of something of this sort, that giving equal opportunities to the girls, that is very heartwarming, because we a lot of girls from our school who have passed out, but for various reasons they were not able to go out of this place to work or to pursue their further education. But then they were the ones who were giving back to the community in terms of the ones who were the English teaching, English speaking teachers back to the schools. So the way this community building exercise happens at Fabindia School,
absolutely,
are taught to stay grounded. They are taught to stay rooted with their roots back in home, and wherever they fly, they come back and they do contribute towards the community. So
that's awesome. Rashi ma'am, you know what you have said, I pick out two things very, very important. You know, first is that your whole philosophy rests on the principle of equity, where the background of the children, you know, does not come in the way of giving them opportunity to excel. I think that's amazing, and that you are doing since 1992, right? So that is one thing that I'm very, very happy about. You know, the second thing is the focus that you mentioned, that we are not about racing for the high percentile of marks. You know, it is about creating high credentials or good values in character, right? So that you can do something, you know, amazing for the society. I think that should be the philosophy of every school as you are pursuing. So thank you very much for bringing out those 2 points. Bharti ma'am, I come to you. I'm told you have spent many number of years, and I would expect one day that you write your memoir, right, about the school. So today itself, I'm declaring you to be the author of that memoir. So what are those 2-3 things which you will bring on top, coming from your experience at Fabindia School?
Coming back from my experience, today if I go to see, it is not only in our part of Rajasthan or whatever, you can see that in every part of the world, you will see a Fabindia. That is the success story behind Fabindia. The central focus, when we say, is that when we started, our focus was for girl education. And today, if you go to see, the girls will not only be found in, I'm proud to say that you won't believe one of a girl named Ritu. She is working in the Uber in California. So that is why I said, wherever you go, whether it's California, whether it's Canada, whether it is any of the US or whether it's Australia, you will find a Fabindia. And
absolutely.
So that is one of our most success, what we find. Then we can see that like many of our students, after studying and they go out, they have explored the world, they have explored the country, and the qualities that we have inculcated in them, if you go to see, the confidence that we give them, the leadership qualities that we give them, is that they never feel inferior when they go out. Otherwise, going from a rural background and going to a other city background or anything, they never feel inferior in front of any of them. They feel that they are as equal, because we have given them such equal opportunities that everything from the Patni group that used to come to the volunteers that came from US, that has helped. And you know what they have given? If they have taught our students English, then our students have taught them our culture.
Okay.
The Rajasthani culture, the Rajasthani language. Means, so if you see, the collaboration of two different countries also have taken place. So that can also be a success, what these people from here take back to their own country and what we have taken from them.
Absolutely.
So this is how
wonderful
our country has given us success.
Bharti ma'am,
yes,
you know what you have said, if I have to put it in one or two words, I would say that your focus is on culture education, right? And
yes,
culture education is so important. It is not only cultural competency that we are talking about, you know. You can do a course and get a certificate that you are culturally competent person. But what you have done is bringing that culture into the whole personality of the child. And that makes the children culturally humble, you know, and we call it culture humility. And that is very much visible in your students and those who are now on the world arena. And the second thing, you know, we are talking about sustainable world these days. You must have heard about it. It has become almost a fad, right?
yes.
But this gender equality, okay, reducing inequalities, expanding opportunities, I think you are born out of that. And that is what the world must know. So I'm very happy that you have brought out these 2 points. Meenakshi, I mentioned in the beginning, you know, that I'm almost envious of this wonderful, you know, surrounding and setting of your institution. And, you know, you are the lucky ones. You are having the cleanest air, you know, the most proximity to nature. Do you think it helps you in learning in many ways that other children may not have in city schools like Delhi?
Yes, sir. So I think not only me, I think all of us have must felt that our school is better place for better learning. We in our school, we are not only confined to 4 walls of the school classroom, but we go out and study there and explore new things there.
Okay.
In our school, there are some places where we go outside and gain practical knowledge. Like in manually created forests in our school, they have created a pond where water is harvested.
Okay.
Go there and study about how water harvesting works, how the system goes, and we take practical knowledge of the whole process from rain to the water sucked in the earth, and in indirect way we also provide water to animals in the forest.
Okay.
So in this way we are not only studying but we are also doing social work too. In our school we have a garden kitchen where we grow organic fruits and vegetables, where agricultural students or biology students go there and study that how and at what season which fruit grows, which vegetable grows, and we go there and we learn how farming is doing, how farming is goes on, and I think it's the best place where we learn many things. Sometimes when students feel very low, their mind is full of stress. When they go out, they feel very relief because of the calmness and the silence in the environment of us.
Lucky.
And the birds creeping, hustles of the leaves, and silence everywhere feels us we are like in a heaven. So I think our school is like a heaven where we not only study but
मीनाक्षी अब ज़्यादा मत बताओ प्लीज, नहीं तो मुझे वहाँ आना पड़ेगा दिल्ली छोड़ के.
Sure, sir. So when you will come here, you will actually feel that.
Yeah, I know. Thank you very much. I mean, Meenakshi, you have, I think, really spoken with your heart. I think this is the kind of surrounding that children deserve, right? In fact, everybody deserves it. But
Yes.
the most, of the need of these things is for the children, because adults have largely denied it to them. But I'm very glad that your classmates and your friends and schoolmates are lucky to have this kind of environment. What you said, couple of things has really touched me, that it is also touching your soul. It is giving you solace. So one thing that all of us are missing in our lives, that we may do some physical things for physical activity, we are doing a lot of intellectual activities, but we are not doing something which gives us happiness, right? Which gives us inner happiness, something to nourish our heart, or something to nourish our soul. I think if these things are happening there, and if I have the opportunity to listen to a young girl saying that, I think it is very, very profound. And while you were talking, Meenakshi, I was reminded of a reporter of a very famous news channel in India, I will not name, and he was standing in a paddy field. धान के खेत में वो साहब खड़े थे, और वो कह रहे थे कि देखिए गेहूं की फसल कैसे बर्बाद हो रही है. So I mean, that is the kind of education that we have reduced to, right? So I'm glad the 5 Indian school students are growing up in an environment which is so natural. Thank you very much for bringing in this point. Yeah, Aryan, तो आप बताएं कि आपको इस स्कूल में वो कौन सी ऐसी चीजें बहुत अच्छी लगती है और आपका दिल बिल्कुल खुश हो जाता है, और आपको लगता है कि बाकी बच्चों से आप कितने ज्यादा भाग्यशाली हैं कि आपको इस स्कूल में ये चीज मिल रही है.
Sir, means there are many things to like about the Fabindia School.
Yeah.
Some of the reasons why I personally like my school is that there is a equality among everyone.
Okay.
Means you see in our school, like our bus drivers, cleaning staff, and peons, means they are considered as a family.
Okay.
If there is any celebration in the school, I didn't remember any single occasion in which they were not a part of it. So
Okay.
it's good to see the feeling of equality among everyone, because without those people also the school can't run properly as it should be. And one thing I like about my school is the 4S program. This is the thing which I like the most about my school. Our school follows the 4S program, which includes service, skills, sports and studies. The last 3 are common in most of the schools, but I think that the service section is not so common in most of the schools. Means our school conducted service program for us and teaches us the art of kindness, giving and sharing. Like some years ago, our school used to ask us for old things. Old things in the sense means the things which are not more useful to us, like short clothes which we do not get fit now. So they used to ask for them, and then they would collect them all and give it to the person who really need them, like the poor children or people. So that gives us very happiness, and I learned that the feeling of helping someone, and by helping someone the joy you get is unmatchable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've been in the school for last 15 years, so many things came and many things went, many things changed, but the love and affection of the school towards the students never changed.
Oh,
And,
very nice.
yes,
आर्यन आपने तो अपने स्कूल के बारे में सारी चीजें समराइज कर दी. वो जरा 4S आपने बोला, उसको रिपीट कर दो. क्या क्या है वो? सर्विस, स्किल और क्या है?
स्पोर्ट्स एंड स्टडीज सर.
स्पोर्ट्स एंड स्टडीज. ओ वेरी गुड. तो देखो, सर्विस हो गया, स्किल हो गया, स्पोर्ट्स एंड स्टडी, ये सारी चीजों को ये बिल्कुल इनकम्पस करता है, और यही पर्पस ऑफ एजुकेशन है. और आपने बहुत अच्छे ढंग से ये बताया, और आपकी बातों से मुझे ये लग रहा था कि यू आर लिविंग दीज थिंग्स एवरी मोमेंट. और मुझे एक चीज बहुत अच्छी लगी जो आप बता रहे हैं कि जो एक ये डिग्निटी है एक दूसरे के लिए, है ना, रिस्पेक्ट जो है. बहुत सारे हम लोग ऐसे मौके आते हैं जब हम इन छोटी छोटी चीजों को भूल जाते हैं जाने या अनजाने में। लेकिन आप कह रहे हैं कि आपका स्कूल इसके लिए बड़ा इंटेंशनल है, बड़ा कॉन्शियस है, तो मेरे ख्याल में बच्चों के अंदर ये वैल्यूज अगर अभी से आ जाएं कि समाज के हर वर्ग के प्रति एक श्रद्धा होनी चाहिए, रिस्पेक्ट होनी चाहिए, मेरे ख्याल में इससे बड़ी शिक्षा और कुछ हो नहीं सकती है। तो आर्यन, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर ब्रिंगिंग इन दिस पॉइंट। अब मैं योगेंद्र जी को लाना चाहूंगा यहाँ पे। योगेंद्र जी, वेलकम टू यू। You have been a student of the school, I'm told, and you are now in the managing committee. So you are a symbol of continuity and innovation also. So I would like you to bring to the audience, what are those values that you imbibed as a young child? How you are perpetuating it as a managing committee member, and what are some of the innovations that you have brought to add value to the existing system?
Thank you, Mr. Pandey. It's a pleasure to be here. And the students who are currently living the experience have sort of summarized what the school stands for. But if I were to just sum it up in 2-3 things, I think the first thing would be to expose everyone to a reality which is much beyond their current circumstances. Mm-hmm. So, for example, everything that is mistakenly valued in the society, we do exactly the opposite. For example, we don't have a fancy building. If you come, it's a very austere but yet close to the nature. So we value the right things and we don't value the wrong things, even if they are vogue and if they're in the, if everybody else is doing. The second thing which these kids have also spoken about and which I think is very dear to us is the holistic view to education. All right, from the beginning, I mean, while I was a student also, we was always taught that, look, marks don't matter as much as the world thinks they matter. Of course they matter, we are very serious about our academics and we really work hard on them, but it is ultimately the holistic education, how you feel about others, how you see yourself in the community and the larger cosmos, and ultimately your position there is going to determine what kind of a human being you're going to be. So while Bharti ma'am rightly so is very proud of many ex-students who've done very well professionally, but it is always, whenever we speak in the management committee with the principal ma'am and other people, it is always not what they are doing, but what kind of people they have become. For example, principal ma'am did not say we have so many IITians though we have IITians and we have people who went to IIMs and all the great fancy things. But what she really valued us ex-students and what she was proud of was how we treat people who are seemingly not from the same social background. So I think these two things is to value the right things, which even if the world doesn't value them, we will value them. For example, this Meenakshi feels so strongly about this close to the nature campus. It wasn't like that when we started and the school was built. It was a patch of barren land, but so everybody thought, in Bali, we come from a society which is very mercantile. कि आपने मेन रोड से 2 किलोमीटर दूर स्कूल बना लिया, ये तो नहीं चलेगा, बच्चे नहीं. And it was right. Like, for the longest time, we did not get many students because we did not believe in advertising and things like that. Yet, this is what kids value and remember and build them. So I would say we've always been ahead of time. Like right from the beginning in 1992, saying that we are for girls' education, English medium education, ahead of time. Then now that all the world has just come to know these things about cultural exchange and things like sustainable development, holistic experiential learning. These are all like even in Delhi, like of course the education scene better. These are the things that the school system is trying to adapt now. Even the older schools, the so-called DPS, RK Purams and all, they never went into that sort of a thing. Now that everybody is now sort of thinking about them. So we were always ahead of time, and now so I think these 3 things that made these futuristic leaders. Now coming back to your second part of your question, how do we use those ethos currently? For example, one of the incidents I remember and I was really touched because is this lockdown. I mean, for the first time, this COVID-induced lockdown actually sort of laid bare the kind of fragile relationships that communities, school communities had with each other, be it teachers, be it students, be it parents, everyone. And I being an ex-student and now also part of the governing body, I attended many of the meetings which were about fee, very, very touchy topics as far as schools are concerned, online learning and all. There was no like stakeholder in the entire system, like parents, peons, teachers, students, ex-students, who had anything, like who were not constructive. Every discussion came up with something constructive, and that we are all in it together. And the teachers stood up to the occasions, the parents stood up to the occasions, the local community stood up to this occasion, and we were able to not only survive but thrive. I would tell that in this, in this whole lockdown, there is it is not that we were in the survival mode, only trying to just get past this. We developed as an institution, we developed as a community, and the relationships that we built with each other, I think they only got better. So I think one of the things that I have learned now, I run a company myself, is that the real test of an institution and its resilience is how it deals with shocks. Most institutions, when they have shocks, they react, they retaliate, but this institution actually got better. So there is this term called anti-fragile. That whenever an institution, whenever a robust system is given a shock, it does not react or sort of gets into its shell, but it gets better. So I think that's something all of this put together brought us there.
Thank you, Yogender ji. I think you have brought some very great lessons. I must tell you, in running a school, the first thing for the young generation, it is very important. What you said is to choose things which are valuable, rightly and with conviction, and not to be swayed by what is being marketed as valuable. I think that is very, very profound, and I'm very happy about it. The second thing is, reconstruction and leading by example, So even in an adverse situation, when many people get toppled down, and here is one community, which shows the finest examples of resilience and reconstructs actually, and changes the narrative of survival to thrival. I think that is amazing, and I'm very, very happy about it. So thank you very much for bringing in those points. And I think we have heard the people who are directly into the system, but somebody who is maybe watching from the sidelines. साहब, अब आपने इतने लोगों को सुन लिया, पहले तो ये बताएं कि आपका दिल कितना खुश हो गया है ये सारी बातों को सुन के. पहले तो ये बताइए आप कितने खुश हैं आप?
बहुत खुश हूँ सर. एक्चुअली एज ए पेरेंट्स,
हाँ जी,
मैं तो जो भी बात कहता हूँ वो बच्चों से सुन के, और लगभग मुझे 12 साल हो गए आपके इस संस्था से जुड़े हुए. लगभग मेरे दोनों बच्चे हैं 12 साल से आपके इस संस्था से जुड़े हुए हैं जी. जिन्होंने जितना भी बोला है वो सब उस संस्था से जुड़े हुए हैं. लेकिन एज ए पेरेंट्स जी, मैं तो यही कहूंगा कि इस स्कूल का जो वातावरण है बहुत ही एक्सीलेंट है सर. इस आपके स्कूल का, आपकी संस्था का स्टाफ है जी, बच्चों के साथ व्यवहार करता है एज ए फैमिली की तरह, फैमिली मेंबर की तरह होते हैं जी जी. और पढ़ाई के साथ साथ ये लोग अपने जो कोकुलर ये सहायक गतिविधियां होती है, जैसे स्पोर्ट्स की मान लो, बीच बीच में ये साइकिलिंग भी करवाते हैं, मैराथन करवाया इन्होंने, अच्छा, रैली करवाई. इनसे क्या बच्चे अपने अंदर क्वालिटीज पैदा करते हैं, निर्णय लेने की शक्ति पैदा होती है, पावर मिलती है इनको, और अच्छे नागरिक बनेंगे बाद में जाके. इनकी लाइफ, बेटर लाइफ के लिए ये जरूरी है. और एज ए पेरेंट्स मैं बहुत ही खुश हूँ सर.
कुछ सुझाव देंगे आप इन लोगों को? बहुत अच्छे काम कर रहे हैं ये, कुछ और है आपके तरफ से, आप बताना चाहेंगे इनको?
सर मेरी तरफ से तो सुझाव, एज ए टीचर, मैं प्रोफेशनली टीचर हूँ
जी,
तो सुझाव बहुत ही अच्छा चल रहा है सर मेरे लिए। तो यही मैं खुशी की बात है कि मेरे दोनों योगेंद्र जी ने जैसे कहा कि एडवर्टाइज की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है, एडवर्टाइज इनके स्कूल की एडवर्टाइज इनके बच्चे ही है सर।
हाँ बिल्कुल,
एडवर्टाइज होती है इनके बच्चों की, किसी को अलग से किसी के कहने से या किसी को करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है। इनके बच्चों की क्वालिटीज देख के पब्लिक और पेरेंट्स इतने खुश है तो इनकी एडवर्टाइज वैसे ही हो जाती है सर।
बिल्कुल, बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया। चौधरी साहब,
हाँ सर।
तो आप अध्यापक भी हैं, आप पेरेंट हैं और इतने अच्छे स्कूल में आपके बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं, तो आप उन बच्चों के बारे में बताएंगे जिनको ये सुविधाएं नहीं मिल पा रही हैं। आप क्या सुझाव देना चाहेंगे इस स्कूल के मैनेजमेंट को या सरकार को? कुछ बातें आती हैं आपके मन में उन बच्चों के लिए?
सर मैं गवर्नमेंट टीचर हूँ
जी, और
हमारे गवर्नमेंट में न तो इतनी सुविधाएं मिलती है। जैसे एक उदाहरण है आपके स्कूल का एटीएल लैब का, शायद हमारे जिले में कहीं भी नहीं होगा, मेरे ख्याल से नहीं है।
अच्छा,
तो ये सुविधाएं आपके स्कूल के बच्चों को मिल रही है, जैसे कि गवर्नमेंट स्कूलों में ये नहीं होता है।
अच्छा,
कंप्यूटर एजुकेशन है, कंप्यूटर एजुकेशन गवर्नमेंट स्कूलों में नहीं के बराबर हो रहा है। आपके वहाँ बच्चे कंप्यूटर एजुकेशन ले रहे हैं।
जी जी।
साथ में उन बच्चों की तो अब जो दूसरी प्राइवेट स्कूलों की बात करते हैं, जैसे मैं एज ए पेरेंट्स बोल रहा हूँ सर
जी,
हमारे साथ कंपिटिटिवली दूसरे स्कूलों के बच्चे भी संपर्क में रहते हैं, पेरेंट्स भी रहते हैं, लेकिन वहाँ पे सिर्फ और सिर्फ रटन विद्या यानी कि पढ़ाई का ही जोर देते हैं वो सर।
जी जी जी।
अपने स्कूल में पढ़ाई के साथ साथ दूसरी एक्टिविटीज का जोर
बहुत जरूरी है। मैंने इसीलिए ये सवाल आपसे पूछा चौधरी साहब कि लोगों को ये पता लगे कि आज के जमाने में बच्चों की जरूरतें क्या है, तो बच्चों की पढ़ाई कैसे होनी चाहिए, क्लासरूम में इंटरेक्शन कैसा होना चाहिए, एक्टिविटीज कैसी होनी चाहिए, ये सारी चीजें बहुत जरूरी हैं। इसलिए इस चीज को मैंने हाईलाइट करने की कोशिश की। तो थैंक यू वेरी मच। एज ए पेरेंट अपना पर्सपेक्टिव आपने बहुत अच्छी तरह से रखा है। और मैं अब शैली जी की तरफ जाता हूँ। और शैली, पहला तो सवाल आपसे ये है कि क्या मिस कर रहे हो आप, पहले ये बताओ स्कूल छोड़ने के बाद, व्हाट आर यू मिसिंग?
So first of all, the campus the most, like everybody has mentioned that, you know, there was a very different connect with the campus itself, with the people of course, but with the campus a lot more, क्योंकि basically it is based in between the nature, amidst the nature, so it provides an opportunity कि आप कैसे coexist करेंगे nature के साथ, and it in itself teaches a lot.
Okay. So any incident you remember of the school which makes you laugh at yourself when you are alone?
I used to be a very shy student initially. I never dropped off my bag anywhere. If I'm going out for lunch, I carried my bag everywhere. And you know, a very shy person, not publicly confident. But then, you know, all the teachers made sure that I am secured enough, I am confident enough, I am motivated enough to bring all my fears out, discuss with them, and you know, take it as an opportunity to learn and grow. And it has been with me all throughout wherever I have been until now.
Absolutely. In fact, my next question you have already answered. I was going to ask you, you know, during your school life, you know, what was the transformational experience for you? You know, that it changed you completely. And if you were not at Fabindia, probably that thing would not have changed. Can you tell some experience like that as a student?
Sure, sir. Taking all the approaches in life. Because one thing I've learned at Fabindia is it's not just about the books. Fabindia prepares you for what is to come next in life. How about to approach everything in life? So whenever it was about, you know, like Bharti ma'am mentioned, if it was Patni group that was coming in, we were made sure that we are participating with them in everything that they were doing. That's how we learned. if we were making mistakes in speaking English, we were not punished for it, but we were allowed to make mistakes and we were allowed to learn from it.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing. Amazing. Thank you very much. So, Rashi ma'am, after listening to everybody, I'm getting a sense that, Fabindia School is at least 30 years ahead of the times. You know why I'm using 30 years, this mathematical calculation? What people are thinking today, the Fabindia thought about it 30 years ago, right? So, and what are those things? We are now saying that please take a pause and go back to nature. Isn't this what we are saying? Isn't it? Are we not saying that there is a dignity about everybody? Are we not saying that our society is infected with inequalities, including gender inequality, and we must overcome that? You thought about it 30 years ago, right? And are we not, highly infected by that frenzied race for very high marks and percentiles? You gave it its due place 30 years ago, right? I'm being very respectful to that particular race. So I think that is why I'm saying that you are 30 years ahead of it. So I think a couple of questions I would like to ask by way of wrapping up. And I will ask that question to Yogenderji because you are part of the decision-making body. So how would you see Fabindia School 30 years from now?
Yeah, I think 30 years from now, as the way the world is changing, it's a difficult thing to say, but still, I would say it will still be 30 years ahead of its time. So, because what you see, Bali would be it is already a different place now than it used to be 10 years, 15 years ago. But 30 years ago, Bali will be a different place, and Fabindia School would have, because with every passing year, with every because the idea is the basic intention behind this whole project here, the Fabindia School and the exercise, is to always be on top of the world. So it is that. So I think it is one of those rare schools which is connected. This whole India Bharat thing doesn't apply here. It comes directly. So whatever is happening, because sort of like, look, we are speaking to you today. I mean, for example, there's a parent here, there is an ex-student. Now this whole community building, which is where the world is growing, we are already on top of the world. So I would say 30 years later, however Bali may look, however the world may look, we'll still be 30 years ahead. This is what I think, and I cannot say that we'll be 4, 5, anything, but we'll always be ahead. Yeah. Because I think that's in the DNA of our founding.
That's the resolve, I think. And that resolve is again very fabulous. Rashi ma'am, any final thoughts other than being very proud of what you are doing?
Thank you, Dr. Pandey. And more than being proud, I have goosebumps, and I'm so full till here, hearing kids speak, hearing Shelly speak, hearing Yogender speak, though they have not been my students, but they come from the same family, and hearing from Chaudhary Sahab, it feels that I'm in the right place. I have been in the right place. And as Yogender was saying, and as you were asking, that where do we envision ourselves 30 years from now? I would say probably 30 years back, the cornerstone was values, relationships, community building. Today, it's values, building relationships, building community. And I'm sure if we stick on to this one cornerstone, we are always going to be ahead of the times, because this is the core of the human existence. And if we are able to teach this to our kids, we are done with it. Rest, the kids will manage it.
Absolutely. I'm so happy and thrilled. My heartiest congratulations to all of you. And my best wishes to all of you. And, I have always read and heard that schools are not about degrees and diplomas and certifications. The schools are for building communities, and that is what you're doing. And the second thing that as an educator that I have learned, that knowledge and skill, okay, in the absence of values may be very, very dangerous, right? And I think you as an institution are very, very conscious of that. And that is why this very healthy interrelationship of knowledge and skills on one hand and values on the other hand that you have fostered is something that is your uniqueness. And with this single philosophy, I have no doubt in my mind that you will always remain 30 years ahead of your times, whichever period of time that may be. So thank you very much and congratulations.